Hello and good morning. Today we just got back from a lovely vacation. We had a great time with some friends of ours and it was so nice to be away. Coming home, I'm always shocked to see how much things have grown. And this year, well, any year that I've had these are my tremendous grapevines. My goal today is to do my summer pruning. So if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I prune grapevines during the summer and during the winter. It's only twice a year. It does take a little bit of time, and I'm just trying to keep my eye on the prize, which is those delicious Concord grapes, which do not fail me with their texture and flavor and gorgeous color, and they're something that we really love eating. So if I want those, I've got to take care of these. They're very overgrown, and honestly the reason is twofold, because I don't have any food in my fridge, so I'm going to use some of these greens in a dish that I'm going to make tonight as well, so that will be helpful too. Today I'm going to take you with me as I summer prune these grapevines. None of the steps are particularly hard. It's actually really simple, but it does take a little bit of time. But it's going to be nice to be reacquainted with the garden and to be outside in the fresh air. So before I get started, I have a clean pair of shears, which in an ideal world you will have cleaned off with some alcohol and a cotton ball or some soap and water. I am throwing caution to the wind. I'm playing roulette, and I'm starting off with a relatively clean pair of shears, but I haven't sterilized them. I'm not saying to follow me in that way, but that's just being honest with you. That's what I'm starting with. And I also have a ball of twine, because this is now also a great time to tie up any grapevines that have kind of gotten out of control, or train them up the way that you want. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my shears and I'm going to go along and I'm going to trim off any side shoots that are not bearing fruit, just because that way the vine can then dedicate its growth towards growing those beautiful grape clusters, and it's just excess growth that's not necessary. And this way you can also generate some more airflow around the clusters of grapes and the leaves that you're going to leave. It's kind of a jungle in here, so I'm just going to jump in. But here's an example of a side shoot. So you notice there's no fruit on it, so I'm just going to trim it back as close to the main stem as possible. No fruit here. So let's take it off. I'm trimming it as close as I can to the trunk. I've summer pruned my grapevines now several times over the years, and I always forget how long step one takes me. Step one by far will take me the longest. And now is a good time for me to mention that because I have a young child, I don't have that large block of time that I used to. I used to just knock this all out in one day, not even like half a day. But now that I have smaller amounts of time, I just broke this summer pruning task up into several chunks of time over a week. So it actually took me a week, but it was just like, okay, I have 15 minutes here, or I have half an hour here while, he naps. So I just wanted to put that out there, and why you might see some outfit changes during this video as well. I still have a ways to go, but this little amount of work has really cleared up this vine. Now air can circulate around the vine. You can see there's a lot less stress on the vine, so it's going to be able to produce better fruit. And I just need to keep going with my other vines. Now, as far as what I've taken off, most of this honestly is going to be chop and drop mulch. And I'm going to use some of the smaller leaves though for cooking. On to step two, which is that you want to remove any small grape clusters. And when I say small, I mean clusters of anywhere from 4 to 6 grapes or so. The reason why you want to do this is the same reason why we remove the side shoots in step one, which is that we want these grapevines to devote the maximum amount of energy towards growing those big, beautiful grape clusters instead. Step 3 is you want to remove any dead or diseased leaves. We don't want any bacteria spreading, bad bacteria spreading, I should say, to the rest of the grapevine, so it's a good idea to just take these out. For example, this leaf isn't the greatest looking leaf, so I'm just going to take it off. Now that I've gone in and removed a lot of the dead and diseased foliage, I'm ready for my last step, which is to make sure that the grapes have adequate shade coverage, but not too much. So we want to make sure that there's only 1 to 2 sets of leaves covering each bunch of grapes, approximately. This way it protects it from the sun, but you don't want too many leaves around each cluster of grapes or else it's not going to get the air circulation that it needs. But I'm looking around and for the most part this seems to be true, and anywhere where it's not, I might adjust it a little bit by removing some leaves. But I don't think that there's a lot of work that I have to do on this step. So I've finished trimming up my grapevines, and as you can see behind me, it's really opened up the space and it's actually converted it from overgrown jungle into a place where I actually want to spend time, which is nice because it is one of my favorite places to have a cup of coffee or read a book when you have the canopy of grapevines growing above you. There's just nothing like it. That is all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all again soon.